guys, Cecilia. Cecilia here. Yes, there's Cecilia here. No. Too many C's. Celestia here. We are going to be talking about Cecilia, though. This is part 4 of the story of Fig, and this is about Cecilia. Sorry, my brain is working a little bit faster than my mouth can catch up to. In part 3, we discovered that the elders had met and wanted to know what Falar was going to do about Cecilia. Elfinor, the senior elder, if there is such a thing, the oldest elder, excuse me, demanded to know what was going to be done, and in the process disrespected the chief, made threats against Cecilia, snubbed the chief's daughter, and was asked to leave, ended up eavesdropping and then being relieved of her position. So after she was taken out of the council chambers for the second time and taken home, she went to her lonely home. She'd never found a mate, which, when you think about how she acted in the council chambers, really isn't that big of a surprise. Who would want to be with her? But anyway, she paced about, ranted and raved, and threw her hands in the air with, she didn't understand, and why was Falar so blind, and didn't he see that this was the start of something horrible, that, you know, their enemies had sent this woman, and she was going to be the, you know, the end and the destruction of them all. Talk about your conspiracy theorist. Well, that's Elfinor. She sees a conspiracy around every corner. She sees an enemy around every corner. And anyone who isn't directly related to the clan is a threat. She doesn't even want them dealing with the humans. So, I have something to show you. Oh, come here, darling. Do you recognize this girl? It's my beautiful Fig. Yes, it is. I tried my hand at doing BJD face up, and well, I'm blushing. I am very pleased with the outcome. I think she looks young and fresh and vital and gorgeous, if I do say so myself, which of course I do. Anyway, so the elders continued to meet for a little while. Fig's father has said that, you know, she can leave, that, you know, thanked her very much for her help and her information about Cecilia. And, you know, she could go back to her charge. So she left and she went home. She immediately went to Cecilia's bedchamber. And there was a guard sitting in the chair. And he said, "She isn't in there." Pardon? Oh no, she's in the sitting room with your mother. Oh. Very well. She thanks him and off she goes. She starts to walk towards the sitting room and is instantly hit with all these different emotions. Terror and fear and upset and tiredness and all of these things just being projected from someone. She knows it's Cecilia because her mother has much better control than that. So she hurries even quicker. And there is her mother, sitting with Cecilia and holding her hands and talking quietly to her. Fig comes in, and her mother says, "Oh, there you are, Fig." "What's going on, Mother? What's wrong?" She said, "Well," she said, the poor girl is so upset, but she doesn't want to talk to me about it." So Fig gets a chair, sits next to Cecilia, and she said, "What is this all about? Why won't you talk to Mother?" And she said, "Because I didn't think she'd understand." She said, "I wanted to talk to you because you, as the kids would say, you get me. She said, you understand me. You understand where I'm coming from." Her mother's a little indignant about this whole thing. And she says, "Well, I have work to do. I will leave you two alone." And Fig says, "Oh, Mother, really? Get down off your high horse." She said, "Cecilia and I have formed a bond, and she wanted to talk to me. What is the big deal? Relax." Her mother sighs and rolls her eyes, of course. Fig just gives her a look that rather puts her in her place, basically saying, "Grow up." She says, "Very well." She says, I understand." Cecilia says, "I wish I could see the interaction between the two of you." She said, "I can sense that there's tension." Fig and her mother glance at each other. Glyneth. She and Glyneth and Fig exchange a look. She said, "Well, what would make you think that?" She said, "Well, I can sense it." She said something. She said, "It's not just you." She said, "It's everywhere." She said, it's all around." Fig says, okay. Please try and relax." Cecilia then proceeds to tell her about the nightmares that she's having. Cecilia suffers from a condition called hidden eye, which means there is no eyelid separation. And her eyeballs, if there are any inside, are fused to the inside of the skin. So she is blind. Fig, takes her hands and she says, I'm going to try and relax you a little bit so that you can tell me what's going on." She says, okay. Cecilia begins to describe to Fig how she is in different areas and that she doesn't know where she is, but she knows something horrible is out there. And when she describes where she is, Fig recognizes the place. And she says, "Well, that's not too far from here." She said, "That's in the thickest part of Bren." And she said, "Well, something horrible is out there." She said, "I know it. I can feel it." Suddenly, she goes stiff, almost as if she's having a seizure. And she's screaming, "No, don't hurt them. No, don't hurt them. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're not meant to be here. You can't do that." And then she goes limp. She's panting, she's sobbing uncontrollably. Of course, Glyneth comes running back in. What's happened? And Fig tells her. And she said, "Oh," she's, "well, let me get her some wine." She said, "I'll get her some elderberry wine." Fig says, "Oh, that's a good idea." give her some wine. She calms down. She said, do you see what I mean? She said, this has been happening since I got here. She said, Vic, what's happening to me? She said, I don't understand. She said, something's wrong with me. She said, maybe everything that everybody is saying is right. Maybe I am a danger. Maybe you should, send me away. Well, Gwyneth, of course, says, no, we're not going to do that. She said, yes, there's something happening to you, but she said it could just be memories coming back. She said, I don't want you to fight them. She said, but they're so horrible, they're so horrible. Vig said to her, listen to my mother and listen to me. She said, if these are memories and they are starting to return, if you fight them, they are literally going to hurt. You have to let them flow through you. You have to, like a river, let them flow. She said, but I've never been to this place. She said, I don't know anything about this place. She said, how could I possibly know? Vig says, well, that is true. She said, I don't know. So she's still, her body is still being racked with sobs, and she's terribly distraught. And Vig says to her, but what are you seeing? She's like, it's killing them. She said, what's killing who? She was like, I don't know. She was like, I can't see it, but something is killing them. Something is killing animals or creatures or humans or something. You have to stop them. And Vig says, I don't know how. She said, she looks at her mother. She says, maybe you should get the healer. She said, I don't need a healer. I don't need a healer. I don't need a healer. Screaming at Vig. She grabs hold of her and she's shaking her. She's like, you need to listen to me. She said, something horrible is going to happen if you don't listen to me. Vig says, okay. She's like, I'm sorry. So, of course, now she's all upset again because she's, Vig says, I don't want you to be upset by this. She's like, obviously something's happening. Just then, Pilar comes in. Says, what's going on? What's going on? What is all the commotion? And for somebody who can't see, Cecilia jumps up and goes and runs to Pilar, grabs him by the arms, and she was like, you have to stop them. You have to stop them or something bad is going to happen. And she collapses. Pilar's like, what in the world was that? I don't know, Vig said. I don't know, Father. I came in and she was sitting with Mother, but she didn't want to talk to Mother about what was going on. She said, Father, I'm so confused. She was like, her mind is just racing, and she was like, it's affecting me, and I don't know what to do. He said, well, I'm going to take her and put her to bed. That's what I'm going to do. So picks the poor thing up like she was nothing. Like a bag of feathers. Takes her to her room. Lays her on the bed. Covers her up. Puts his hand on her head. And leans forward, and he was like, rest, Cecilia, rest. You're not going to be any good to us if you don't rest. Rest will be the answer to everything. Everything will become more clear with rest. And she's moaning in her sleep. Her eyes are, rapid eye movement. He says, you poor thing, what has happened to you? He's like, who has done this to you? He's like, how can anybody think you're a threat? He said, I don't understand. His heart's breaking for this poor girl. He's so upset. Vig comes in and says, Father, let her be, okay? Come. come have some tea. He was like, tea be damned. He said, I need a drink. He said, I need some ale or something, or some wine, something with some kick. She was like, okay. So they go into the living room, common area, I guess, of their home. And her mother gets him some wine, large glass. And she says to him, she sits beside him and she's like, what do you think is going on? He said, I don't know, Gwyneth, I don't know what's happening. So they both turn and look at Fig, and she was like, don't look at me. She was like, I have no idea. She was like, she projects so much that I can't, there's no cognitive thoughts there. It's just a mass and a jumble. She was like, I can't. She said, I can't process it. I can't sort it. Her father, he grabs her hand and he was like, I'm sorry, dear. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, daughter. I'm so sorry. And suddenly there's a knock at the door. Fig goes, jumps up and goes and answers the door. And there's Ryo standing there. She said, come in, Ryo. He was like, I need to speak to your father, Fig. He was like, it's very important. She said, you can't come in? He said, no. He said, your father needs to come with me now. He was like, Doric is dead. Doric is the clan seer. And he said she was found dead in her bed by her attendants. And it didn't look like a peaceful, like she looked like she's in terrible pain. Please, Fig, Valar needs to come with me immediately. She said, of course. She gets her father. And she said, Ryo, he comes to the door and he's like, Ryo, what is it? He said, I'm so sorry to disturb you, Valar. He said, but you need to come with me at once. He was like, Doric is dead. And that's the end of part 4. Things are heating up. So from my beautiful girl and I, we would both like to thank you so very much for joining us today to hear more of her extremely fascinating story. And if you like what you're seeing, or hearing, I guess, not seeing, but if you like what you're hearing, and you're not subscribed, and you happen by my page quite by accident, what are you doing here, girlie? There you go. You happened by my channel by accident. Sorry, just a second. You might want to hit that subscribe button so that you can find out what's going to happen in part 5. I will tell you that there are things to come that are going to be very exciting. Things to come that are going to be very tragic. So, until we get together again, remember to relax, be calm, and love your dollies. And remember, I love you all. Mwah! Have a wonderful day.